Hello and thank you for tuning into this video. This is going to be a timeless tarot reading for Scorpio sun, moon and rising signs. Also happy birthday because it's Scorpio season. Today I'm going to be fittingly using the Halloween oracle, and I've also got the animal tarot here. So first I'm going to be pulling from the oracle and then we'll get on to the tarot last. But let's just see like what the overarching theme for this reading is for you. So first of all, we've got midnight, the most magical hour of all. Skull of light, illumination. I don't know if that's like focusing. And then we've got black cat, fortune meets opportunity. Show all of those. So first of all, like the thing that I'm getting is kind of like shadow work, but I feel like you're kind of like moving out of a phase of shadow work. Like I feel like personal healing is kind of a thing that doesn't really end. I don't really think that there's a finish line where you're like, I'm completely healed and I'm a perfect person now. And we just kind of go through like layers and phases of healing in our lives, and I feel like you are coming out the other side of a healing cycle. Yeah, just with like illumination and midnight, because you're like with midnight, the first thing that I got was just kind of like the dark and like seeing like especially with illumination, it's like illuminating the dark, you know what I mean, like the parts of us that are unseen, which is basically what shadow work is. It's kind of like diving into those unconscious, subconscious parts of ourselves that we kind of can sometimes like let be like a backseat driver, if that makes sense. Like consciously we think that we're driving the car and we're in control of our lives, blah 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 blah, but like little do we know, in the darkness, you know, in the backseat of the car, there is a past version of ourselves or a past experience that is actually driving the car for us that we don't actually like, we're not aware of. So this is all about like illuminating that backseat driver and just addressing like, yeah, like unconscious behaviors and how that might have like led us to a certain point or to the present. But I definitely feel like you're, like I said, like you're kind of moving out of that phase and you've probably actually addressed the backseat driver at this point, which congratulations. I'm gonna pull maybe like two more for that one before getting into the tarot. So we've got Night Song, Hidden Talents. So yeah, like I feel like you're kind of moving into a phase like where you've done like quite a bit of healing, and now you can actually focus on the future and focus on like what is ahead of you. We could take this card very literally and be like hobbies, yeah, just like exploring interests and actually having space for things that like make us happy again, and being able to like, yeah, just like move in the direction that we're called to now that we've kind of, you know, gone through the motions, like swept through the storm, like the hurricane has passed, and like not only has it passed but we've rebuilt, you know, from what the hurricane has damaged, and now we can just get back to living our life, you know what I mean? So that's a vibe. Last card from this deck that I'm gonna pull, Joy, rejoicing in the present. That's pretty much what I just said, right? So we've gone through the motions. Oh, I also forgot to like mention the kitty cat card. So it says like fortune meets opportunity. So So also like black cats, they have that like bad rap of being unlucky, but a lot of cultures actually see them as lucky. So yeah, I think you're like moving into like a phase where things are more open. You're not being driven by subconscious behaviors as much anymore, and you're able to, yeah, just like move into the next phase without anything kind of binding you down. And yeah, like it's like a time to celebrate and have fun right now. So that's sick. I love that for you. Good birthday vibes. So I'm just gonna like pull into the tarot. This is just obviously a very positive reading. Yeah, like happy for you. So 3 of Wands reverse. Sorry, my camera just cut out because the memory card ended up being full, but 3 of Wands. So if this wants to focus, there we go. So there's a little bird there and he's looking out into the horizon. He's looking down at those boats and he's like, oh my god, like where could I go? Like there's a huge world out there for me, right? So this being in reverse though, right, I feel like this is more of like an internal thing. You could very well be thinking about, like, for example, like traveling, moving, doing like physical things, you know, just going out there and doing things and entertaining yourself, having fun. But I do feel like this being reverse is more of like an internal energy. So it's kind of telling you to reanalyze, like, or you might even just already be in this energy, of course, because you've moved into the new chapter. You are wondering, like, maybe so much about like connections in your lives, and like, do I want to keep rehashing this like same pattern with these people, or do I want to keep continuing like these friendships to like, am I gaining anything from it? Is there anything more to explore in these connections? But like it's more of like how you feel about things, if that makes sense, and how like your current, or like the environment that you've been in has been making you feel. Like, are there any changes that you would like to make as you go into the future? But yeah, obviously does include like endeavors as well, but that was the first thing that I was kind of getting from that, which is, you know, do you want to keep, like, after you've like rebuilt after the storm, do you want things to be the same in some aspects? Do you know what I mean? Because like when there's a change, it's not just like, usually like a lot of things change. Life is just like a big story of change. If that makes sense. I hope I'm, yeah, making sense and not just like rambling right now. But I'm gonna pull some more tarot. Yeah. So we've got the Tower in reverse and the 5 of Wands. So yeah, I really feel like this is just talking about letting go of some internal kind of conflicts, and honestly even just external, because like the 5 of Wands is like about, like, it's the fighting conflict card, right? So this could be like looking, like I said, with like your social circle, like looking at like the people that you're interacting with and just being like, is there anything that's like not rubbing me the right way here? Like, is everything flowing nicely? Like, is there something, you know, that I just kind of need to reanalyze in that aspect? What is like conflicting you? Do you know what I mean? What isn't working anymore, I guess, is what I'm just trying to say. And yeah, like the Tower, like that's just like, it literally just means saying like the storm. You've come through the storm, right? The Tower is all about the storm. Like, it's the card of the storm. It's a storm that comes out of nowhere and just, yeah, just like clears everything out and forces us to rebuild, but we rebuild better and stronger. So like, what is like not really holding up the foundation anymore? Like, you've rebuilt, but what like could be left behind, do you know what I mean? And with it being in reverse as well, again, talks about this like internal thing about like what is like working for you personally, and it's not so much like about the outside world, just like how this was reversed, the Three of Wands. This is more of like an internal energy about you and like what is working for you on the inside, and not so much about like what's working for the collective environment. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this doesn't resonate for me, so I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to engage with this anymore. I'm not going to do things in this way anymore, if that makes sense. So yeah, I really think that journaling on those things, if you're into that, even if you're not into that, like, do it. And just ask yourself, like, what in my life, now that I have moved into this new chapter, what can I leave behind? Like, what, you know, what is like playing on my mind where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I really want to do that anymore, or like, you know what I mean? Like, what kind of like internal conflicts are you having about things that maybe you've continued to do for a very long time, that, you know, you could maybe do without. So yeah, that, like, I feel like that's like all we really need from that reading. But I'm gonna round off by pulling some cards, or pulling some final cards. So I got Ace of Wands. Yeah, so this is like a new beginning, a new chapter, new inspiration. So yeah, just see the little firefly as well. That's focusing. Go where the firefly takes you. You know what I mean? Go. This is basically saying like, go to where you are lit up. What makes you fully feel happy and fulfilled and inspired and creative. Like, go in that direction. Anything that is pulling you away from that direction is, you know, what you could do without. I've got some final ones. Judgment. That's completely a new chapter. Judgment is all about being called onto something brand new, a completely new world, a new chapter, but in like a more grown, what do you call it? Like a more grown perspective. Taking the lessons with you and just leaving things behind. It's like, you know, going from like a child to a teenager, and then a teenager to an adult. It's like graduating high school. It's like you're done. You don't need to be, you don't need to go to high school anymore. Like, you need to leave that in the past. You can't go to high school anymore, you know what I mean? That's just an example. It's like, you know, you've learned all the things, you've done all of the essays or whatever, all the study that you need to do, you've graduated. Like, what are you gonna do now? Like, because you can't keep doing the same thing, and I don't think you want to be doing the same thing either. Page of Wands. Yeah, there's lots of wands in this one. This is just very about like creative, like inspiration. Yeah, like that is just, yeah, this is really just giving me like creative vibes, this reading as well. So yeah, if there's any hobbies that you want to pick back up again, like, or anything that you want to try that you haven't before, because this is a new chapter, do it. And then we've got Justice. So yeah, just getting what you deserve, because sometimes like when we, you know, we have like these unconscious like behavioral patterns. Sometimes like they're not our fault that we have them in the first place. Like, usually it comes from like trauma, and yeah, just experiencing like shitty things. So that's why we end up living in an unconscious, asleep sort of way. But you're waking up now and you're getting your justice, because, you know, like whatever shitty things have happened to you in your life to get you to that point of like having these like unconscious behavioral patterns, like you're getting your justice for having to even go through those in the first place. Like, this is your time to live the life that you want to, free of the burdens and the chains of the past, and to actually yeah, just embrace life like without that unconscious shadow like hovering over everything, if that makes sense. So yeah, I hope that you got what you needed from this reading and it all made sense and it was clear. You should also check out your other placements. So all of my readings on here that are zodiac are like for your sun, moon and rising sign. So check your chart. You may have 2 other readings out there for you. Also, if you found this video helpful, please give it a like. It helps me and it also helps to get the video out to other people who may need this message. So yeah, I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much.